Hey y'all, welcome to Now. I'm Jane, and this is our time to get groovy in the spiritual dimension of wellness. And I have a very intentional topic to talk about, and I just realized that I had markers on this feed and they were not closed all the way, so I'm thinking they might be dried out. And that is a bummer. Apparently, I forgot to do that. I had offered a class the other night and used dry erase markers, and I forgot to close them. Womp womp. Anyway, it happens, right? We make mistakes. That's how we learn. So, I want to dive into something that kind of just came through that I want to talk about and expand. So, here we are, spiritual beings having a human experience. And so oftentimes, I'm shuffling, and so oftentimes we really forget that. We get so mired down in this thing called human that we forget that we are energy, that we are source, that we are derived from the big oneness of all that is. We totally forget that we're spiritual beings. Totally. We think that we're our thoughts, we think that our body, we think that we are our emotions, like I am sad or I am depressed, or I am only of this body. And while those have some validity to it because it is what we experience, it is not the full truth, right? The full truth is that we are energetic spirits. We are souls. We are love nuggets, right? Um so kind of to that is what I want to speak to. First I want to pull a card. So take a couple deep breaths with me, will you? Wherever you are, just take a few luxurious breaths in and feel into your body, into your heart. Feel your blood pumping, the breath flowing in and out of you. Perhaps you cultivate or call forth an experience or sensation of peace, of abundance, of grace. Whatever it is that you would like more of, or would like some of if you've never had it or experienced it, just breathe it in like the universe has just been waiting for you to ask for it. And your breath is the outstretched hand of receptivity. So just breathe in big and full and relax it out. So I'm going to pull a card. This. This is the one I want. We shall see what it says in a moment. So, something that I want to talk about is, so I just mentioned that we're spiritual beings and we totally forget that because we think that we are just this limited human thing, this human life force. And again, although we are human and we are a human life force, we are so much more than that. We are spirit. And when I think about spirit, that's timeless. Like there's no end to that. We are eternal beings. We are forever and ever. Amen. We have this one life to live, and it is an eternal life. We have this one life in this one body, yes, and we have this one life of eternity, this one life as a spirit, this one life as a fractal from God, source, universe, creator, whatever the word is that you want to call it. So we are fractaled from that from this eternal space to come into human to have a finite experience, right? It has a beginning, we call it birth. It has an end, we call it death. So it's this finite experience, right? It's kind of like your meal that you just ate. That was a finite experience. You prepared it, you ate it, you're going to poop it out. The end, right? So we have that, yes, and we're not done, right? Whether you believe in heaven or reincarnation, or you believe in science and physics where you cannot create nor destroy energy, we are, by definition, as what we are, energy, forever creatures of consciousness. And something to that I noticed in my own life and in lives around me is that we get so stressed out that um, we have no more time. We think we don't have time. We think that, I'm just gonna move this. Come. Okay, liberation. So we get into this headspace that we don't have enough time, that we're going to run out of time. And the truth of the matter is that time is a unit of measurement, so we can't run out, right? Like, if time is a unit of measurement, so are cups, right? Cups are a unit of measure. We cannot run out of cups, right? We can run out of the content of the cups, but we can't run out of cups, right? We can't run out of time. And we will stress ourselves out so much thinking that we are going to run out of time and I should have done something by now. And if I don't do it now, then I'll never get it done. And and here's the thing, maybe you don't get it done. It doesn't matter. Because we're eternal beings, so we're never really going to get it done. So then I think, well, if I'm never going to get it done, why would I stress out over the things and about the things that I might be concerned with getting done? Because that might just create a whole lot of space for stress and anxiety for me. And the last thing I want to do in this finite experience called Jane's life is to have a fulfilling life of nothing but anxiety and worry and concern. And yet, that's a life that I've personally lived, and I feel like many humans have and or are currently living in. The life of regret and the life of fear of running out of time. So, when I think about that, I think, well, what's the solution to that, right? Like how do we live in and with the awareness that we're never going to run out of time? Like how do we even like navigate that? And when I think about it, I think, well, it's definitely a space of surrender and being in trust and in flow. It's an opportunity to live in grace, offer everyone else grace, like they're in their own timeline and experience and concerns or not, as I am as well. Navigating this experience of like, well, if I'm never going to get it done, then it kind of puts me in this space of like, well, fuck it. Like, if I'm never going to get it done, then why not just do what I want to do and fuck it? Like, I'm not going to do the things that I don't want to do anymore. If it doesn't light my soul up, if it doesn't feel like a yes, if it doesn't feel in alignment or in resonance with my soul, with my spirit, with love and purpose, then it's a no for me. And sometimes that means I have to tell people no. Sometimes I have to tell myself no because I'm thinking thoughts that are not in service. I might be stuck in this head loop of repetitive thoughts of I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I should have done this, if I would have done that, I would have been better, and da 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 da. Those don't serve me. Those don't feel like yes. Those don't feel like alignment. They don't feel like peace. They don't feel like love. They don't feel good. So I can pause in those thoughts and recalibrate and be like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Do I want to spend my days and my time thinking about things that hurt my feelings? Now, I'm not saying that we need to turn our brain off and be completely mindless. Rather, be mindful of our thoughts and be mindful of, am I being in a thought form of nothing but judgment toward myself or someone else, right? Am I shooting all over someone? Oh, well, they should be doing this, and if they do this, and they should do that, and or I should have done this, and I should have done that. Am I really sitting in a thought field of judgment? Because when we should on anyone, ourselves or someone outside of ourselves, we're doing nothing but being in judgment. That's it. We're literally being in judgment. Do you really want to spend your days in judgment? We have enough of that in our society. We have enough of that in our culture and the indoctrination systems. We have plenty of that outside of ourselves. Why don't we take reign of our thoughts and say, you know what? I don't think I really want to be in judgment anymore. I want to try on something new so that, you know what? If I can live the rest of my days experiencing and thinking and feeling, I don't know, acceptance, wow, that sure shit feels a lot better in my soul. That just feels better to me, right? So then I'm like, if we really understood, like we as a collective humanity group of things on earth living, if we collectively understood that we really can't control anything and there is no such thing as time, we just have experiences that lead into another experience. We have starting points and stopping points. But they're in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. So why worry ourselves? Why live a life of bypassing everything and not getting the full experience, right? Why not be bold and brave and courageous and look at the darkness and the shadows and the places of pain and suffering within ourselves? Look at it, love that we had those experiences, love that our bodies can hold that much trauma, love the fact that I'm able to heal it with love and compassion and grace. Like, if we collectively did that and chose that, we would literally be living in a completely different life. Like, we would be living as the biggest spiritual expression of ourselves. We would be. We would be living such a full life, not judging anyone, not judging ourselves. We would be living a life of full on presence, creativity, freedom, liberation. We'd be living a liberated life if we remembered that it's all now. It's all now. You're never late. Where you are in this right now moment is the perfect place. You're in the perfect place at the perfect time. If you weren't in this now moment in the perfect place at the perfect time, you'd be somewhere else. But where you are in this right now moment, in the stage of your life, with your successes and your fails, your endeavors, your everything, your relationships, those that are currently healthy and balanced, those that are falling apart, those that are completely dead and gone. That's all perfect because it just is. I feel that when we embrace this timeless nature of our soul, we live a life way more powerfully, way more easily. We're connected to the spirit of ourselves, our souls, so much so that we connect to the greater big spirit, the great spirit, the one. Because if I know and am living like I am a spiritual being, I'm going to see others in that way too, because you can't not. And if I can see other people as spiritual beings having a human experience, doing the best they can, one, that's just way nicer, not way nicer way to live, like more kind on earth. But also like it it holds an energy. It holds an energy of compassion. And when we are in an energy of compassion, we're in the energy of love and kindness and grace. And that to me is what the oneness is. It's all the things. So that's what kind of came through today to share was this remembrance that we have enough time, that we're eternal, and to as fully as possible enjoy the finite experience that we call our life. Why not just gobble it up and luxuriate in it and bask in it and hug everyone we can and look at people in the eyes and see people for their beauty and their struggles and their triumphs, and to look at ourselves in that way, like, wow, what if this is the last day that I ever got to see myself? What if this is the last day that I got to see you? That I got to see my friends, that I got to see the tree in the backyard. Like, what if this was the last day? What if we lived like today was the last day? Because it is the last day of today. Then we have tomorrow, which will just be another version of today in which we call it. But still, you know what I mean. But if we can live so fully in the present moment, then what happens to this time thing is that it stretches out and we end up having plenty of it. We don't feel like we're running out of time. We don't feel like we're chasing anything. In fact, life tends to get a lot easier. And when we can live in that present moment, and have the willingness and emotional maturity and ability and capacity to look at experiences in the past so that we can heal it, so that others don't have to live through it and heal it anyway, like we're doing the work. It makes like living in the present more fun. It makes it more different. Because if I'm not going to go, if I don't heal anything from my past, I'm literally every now moment just going to be living an iteration of it in some way, shape, or form, because we literally can't bypass it. It will store in our physical body or a mental body or emotional body. It just is. So if I think, oh, I'm going to ignore the past, it's going to land in my body and my body's going to show it. My body's going to show that resistance. If I am not willing to go into the emotions that are uncomfortable, I might start to create neural pathways in the brain that would be labeled as pick a mental disorder, because this is what happens when we don't deal with our own shit. And we have all the time in the forever to do it. And if you believe in reincarnation or being reborn, basically, if you don't deal with this shit now, you're going to come back and deal with it again. Do it now. Live a fun life now, because it's like, I want to clean the house before and have the people over for the party, or whatever. It's like tidying up, it's cleaning up, it's doing all of that, so that the fun can be had, and we can also have fun while doing the cleanup. So anyway, I want to read this card. Ooh, I've never pulled this one. It says the all-encompassing hand. Look at that baby. Oh, pretty. So pretty. Let's see what it says. Let's see. Let's read it. This is from the Rumi deck, written by Alana Fairchild, one of my faves. So the Rumi poem that goes with this says, "You are the essence of my existence. Who am I? A mirror in your hand. Whatever you do, I will do. I am your irresistible reflection. With every breath, I feel my heart is beating with yours. In your joy, I am exuberant. In your sadness, I am in sorrow. If you are bitter, I become bitter. If you are grace, I become grace. My joy is when I am bewildered in your beauty and taste the sweetness of love on your lips. If I pick a rose without you, it becomes a thorn in my hand. If I am the thorn, I become the rose in your hand." Isn't that pretty? And then, so that was the poem by Rumi. And then Alana Fairchild goes on to write, "I have held your hand in mine for so long that I have long since ceased to distinguish where your sacred flesh once felt separate from mine. The sacred grasp pulses with love divine, and there is one hand, holding and held, one being, loving and loved, though we may appear by less ecstatic angels to be two. The love that gives us this handfast, beloved, is so powerful, we could spin the entire universe upon its axis, and still our hands would be joined, gently and yet enduringly, in unfailing love and sublime friendship." I love this. This is like, to me, it's like saying that, yes, like I am spirit. The spirit, the divine, the oneness, it is always with us. It is us. So why live a life so mired down with just the body or just the mind? Why not embrace all of the spiritual nature of us? that we are that, that we can enjoy that, I can experience love with myself. Like I can experience joy. I experience joy. I get to experience joy in Jane's body. When I laugh, I get to hear what Jane sounds like when I laugh. You know? Like what a magic treat that is. But I tell you what, spirit, God source, whatever you want to call it, the divine, is not concerned about time. There's no God source in the sky with a big Rolex on going, you were supposed to take out the garbage 10 minutes ago. Failure. No. It's a sacred witness. The divine is a sacred witness that gets to be experienced through us as us. So to say that, oh, I don't have time, literally limits the fullest feeling that the divine would be feeling through us. I mean, the divine's welcome to feel stress if that's what we're feeling. I like the end where he says, "If I pick a rose without you, it becomes a thorn in my hand. If I am the thorn, I become the rose in your hand." The divine is always with us. To me, that says like it's almost like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? And the answer is no, it doesn't. Um, Sound needs to have a receiver to be a sound, and that would be the human ear. So it's like that. It's like it doesn't even it just is nothingness. But if I am there to experience it, you know, then that makes it all the better. So if the thorn is what is to be experienced, it's all the better. So, we're going to live through pain. We're going to have uncomfortable experiences in this experience called life. We're going to have thorny moments, thorny days. We might have some thorny years. But the thing that we don't ever have a thorn about is time unless we create that with our mind. And we just don't need to do that. I mean, you can. I mean, it's free will. It's always an option. But we actually have the ability to really stand in a space of pure presence of like, I have plenty of time. And I'm going to live this life to the absolute fullest as the spiritual being that is having a human experience. The eternal nature of me, of you, of us is having a finite human experience here for a limited time only. I know it's counterintuitive because I keep saying there is no such thing as time. And yet we agree to this construct of impermanence in what we call a timeline. Can we just embrace the fact that we're spirit? That we're spirit. We're God. We're goddess. We are the universe. We are the infinite ones. We're made of light and sound. We are love nuggets at our core. It's really basic, simple stuff. We are more than the mind. We're more than our thoughts. We will take the thoughts that we have in our mind, though, and we will hold on to them as absolute truths. They're just constructs. They're not real. They're thoughts. We identify with the body and the emotions so much that we lose malleability and ability to be agile and change. You know, if I have the belief that I am depressed, I am depressed, I am depressed, then my body's like, all right, I guess we're depressed. That's boring. That kind of sucks. Like, I get some sadness, duh. But, like, really, I'm kind of over that shit. The body's going to start to feel heavy. You might gain weight. You might lose strength, lose buoyancy in your step, lose bounce and pep. That's a choice. It's a choice to identify as that, as depressed. I get it if someone is experiencing depression and sadness, yeah, duh, that's a human thing. We experience emotions. We're made to. We're made to feel things and process them and alchemize them and transmute them and change them like magic. We're not made to feel any one feeling for any forever length of time. We're literally not made to do that. We're not. But if I have a belief that I am that, like if I think and believe that I am depressed, then I am saying that that is what I am is. And I am is not depressed. I am is the is of all that is. I am is consciousness, is the infinite intelligence. It is the God source. So that's what I wanted to share. That's what came through. So yeah, I'll read this one more time because I like it. The all encompassing hand. You are the essence of my existence. Who am I? A mirror in your hand. Whatever you do, I will do. I am your irresistible reflection. With every breath, I feel my heart is beating with yours. In your joy, I am exuberant. In your sadness, I am in sorrow. If you are bitter, I become bitter. If you are grace, I become grace. My joy is when I am bewildered in your beauty and taste the sweetness of love on your lips. If I pick a rose without you, it becomes a thorn in my hand. If I am the thorn, I become the rose in your hand. The end. So, again, that was the card that I pulled. So hopefully you enjoyed that. It was lovely. I think it was lovely. So many images in that. Like, can you see that? Like, that's got so much in it. So good. Anyway. All right, my friends. Live timelessly. Live like you are the eternal nature of love, and that everything that you get to experience can be experienced maybe for the first time. Can you live this day tomorrow? Can you live tomorrow? In a way that you are like, wow, I get this whole entire day to do and to think and to feel whatever I want. Now, you might disagree and think that you can't do whatever you want. I get that. But you can think and feel whatever you want, and that will completely change the dynamic of your experience in relationship with what we call tomorrow in this. It will change the dynamic of the relationship with yourself. When we really stop and think, wait a minute, I can choose my thoughts. I can. I'm going to feel what I'm going to feel. Like I can't control what I feel. I can't. If I feel joy, I feel joy. If I feel sad, I feel sad. Okay, I do. But I can control my thoughts around it. If I'm going to judge myself, I can control that. If I think that I'm stupid for feeling something, I can control that. I can change that. Totally. I can change my awareness with awareness. So that's what I'm bringing forth, hopefully, is just a little nugget and dose of the awareness. We have this powerful nature of the divine that is us, that flows to us and through us all the time. We're never running out of time, and we're here for a finite amount of time. So enjoy it. Live bigly and fully and in as much love as possible. See if you can think a thought that feels in your body like love and kindness, and then see what happens from there. It's an invitation. Give it a whirl. So, I love you, and I'm really glad that you're here on this earth plane with me doing this life thing. So, enjoy your time. Every single moment and breath that you get to take in this thing that we'll call today. So I hope that you sleep well and that you wake up feeling the gift of the new day. So I love you, and I will see you all on another now, a very soon now. And yeah, take care of yourselves and each other, please. Okay, I love you. Bye.